am Paige Estes. I'm with the LaGrange Troup County Chamber of Commerce, and we are so excited to be here. Unfortunately, I did not dial up a traditional chamber day in terms of the weather, but it is one of those days that we are most proud of as an organization, and that's to celebrate 40 years in business in Troup County, 40 years of a family-owned business that is here and survived lots of ups and downs in terms of the economy, lots of changes probably through the generations, but they've remained strong. They've also been active in so many things in the community, but especially within our organization. And thank you to the entire Jackson team for letting us be a part of today. And we also look forward to celebrating an innovation, which even after you're in business for 40 years, you certainly can teach an old dog new tricks, as they say. And I look forward to hearing about the wonderful, neat products and services in terms of converting some of your lines over to propane. And I'm sure we're going to get lots more information today. We have several people that are important in terms of being here, and that's all of you. Lots of members of the press, lots of members of the chamber. In particular, I'd like to recognize those that are in the networking group with Dale, which is a brainchild of his that he's really taken and developed this year in particular under his leadership, and thank you, Dale, for that. And we also have City Councilman Nick Woodson here, so thank you for the leadership of the city being with us today. In order for us to get started, I'd like to call upon Mr. Ben Jackson. Ben.
Thank you very much, Paige. Thank you all for coming out even on this gorgeous rainy day. We appreciate everybody's attendance. I'm going to talk a little bit about our propane conversion that we have done. And I want to tell you a little bit about the background and the history and kind of what led us to ultimately convert our vehicles to propane. I'm kind of the numbers guy here. We have Dale is more of a visionary guy. He sees long term, and he's kind of he's the dreamer. And then I'm kind of the nuts and bolts kind of guy. And so one of the things that we had been looking at doing was, you know, when the economy decided to disagree with us and go downhill, we looked at ways that we could save money. And one of our biggest costs, as you might imagine, with having around 32, 33 vehicles on the road, is fuel cost. And it's a very large number. So we started looking at ideas to increase our miles per gallon, and just, you know, we never could come up with anything really good. We actually came up with some computer programmers that would reprogram our vehicles that was designed to give us about 2 miles per gallon savings. That didn't work. That actually, we began to have some failures in our transmissions and just some things that just felt like at the end of the day, whereas we did realize a little fuel savings, we were ultimately incurring more expenses. So we thought, well, we need to do something different. We had researched all kinds of things and just weren't having any success. Then a salesman that started working with us, he was from the gas industry, which if you know about heating and air and gas, in the heat pump country, they're not really usually the best of friends. We love gas people, but heat pumps is not what they love, and that's what we love here where we are. So he kept telling me about this his ex-boss that he had that wanted to talk to us. And I said, what in the world can a propane gas guy do to help us with our vehicles? He said, I just want you to talk to him. And I kind of would brush him off, and I wouldn't have anything to do with it. And so finally he said, Ben, I've got to get this guy to quit calling me. Will you please let me talk to him? Will you let me set up a meeting? I said, sure, let's have a meeting. So Craig, our guy, Craig Marshall, he introduced me to Derek Whaley with Alliance Auto Gas and Mark Denton with Blossman Gas, and then Danny Swan with Blossman Gas. They all came. We had an initial meeting and sat down and listened to what they had to say. And when I left that meeting, I loved what they had to say. And it wasn't, hey, I'm going to increase your miles per gallon by 2 miles per gallon. It was, I'm going to lower your cost to operate, and not by a little, but by a lot. And so after that initial meeting, I talked to my other co-owners, and we sat down and looked at the paperwork that they had given us and found out that it was real. And not only was it real, it was an American-made product, and it wasn't something we were relying on, getting from overseas. And that was the thing that we really liked, was the ability to go green at the same time of saving a lot of fuel cost, which is, like I said earlier, that is a big deal for us. And so we went with the conversion. We converted 20 vehicles, and the savings have been astronomical. Not only that, it is a much cleaner burning fuel. It's better for our vehicles. It improves the maintenance. There's a lot less maintenance needs to be done on the vehicles as far as oil changes, and it's a much cleaner burning fuel. So we couldn't be happier, and we're very, very, very grateful for what Alliance Auto Gas has done for us, as well as Blossman Gas. We've partnered with them. That's who we buy our fuel from here locally, and we're very grateful for all they do for us. And so that's the brief story. I was told to be brief, so there's the brief story of what we did. And if any of you have any questions, I'll be around afterwards to talk about the propane side of things, the auto gas, is where Derek will be here as well, Derek Whaley. So thank you, Paige.
And to give us a little more information on that technical side, we're delighted that Derek Whaley is with us from Alliance Auto Gas. Derek.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys letting me come here today, and for Dale and Ben, for you guys putting this on. I mean, this is fantastic. The whole tent and everything, and we very much appreciate doing business with you guys. I'll be brief as well. He pretty much nailed everything that's on that right there, as far as the affordability, the convenience, and the environmental responsibility is huge, and also being using a domestic product. I'm going to go talk a little bit more on the technical side of things. If we want to compare a bag phone in the 80s to the iPhone now, that's really how much technology has gone as far as in the automotive industry. Propane has been running on vehicles for the past 20 to 30 years. However, there's been a little bit of a change from the carbureted to the fuel injection. So from a technical standpoint, we maintain and keep up with all the vehicles here, make sure that they're all safety approved. We operate 8 to, I believe it's 9 counties and cities here in the Georgia area that run on propane auto gas. So as far as the safety aspect of it, the tanks are 1/4-inch steel, so we have a wonderful video of law enforcement shooting at it. I don't think you guys get shot at too often, especially hopefully not by your competition or anything. But they are bulletproof, and we have that case study. They're all Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard approved tanks, as well as they don't void the warranty on the vehicles at all. So it's a proven technology, and there's no more tests. 18 million vehicles worldwide run on propane auto gas. Here in these United States, it's about 270,000 vehicles. And that's simply changing radically this year as far as GM and Ford as OEMs are investing heavily into the alternative market as well. But I'll be here afterwards. If anyone has any questions, I would love to answer them, and I really appreciate everyone coming out and being able to work with a private fleet, a family-owned business is just a tremendous privilege. So thank you all very much. Appreciate you guys coming.
For our friends in the media, or if there are others that are interested in some of the more technical aspects, I know we have press releases and additional information that we can provide to you. We also want to thank Commissioner Richard English, who came in. Thank you, Richard, for being here. Next on our agenda is someone I think that we all know as well, another member of the Jackson family, Dale Jackson.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming. I really want to thank Ben and Derek for being so brief, so now I have a full hour to share with everyone here. No, I certainly will be brief as well. I just wanted to kind of tie in the larger strategy of Jackson Heating and Air. This is actually the latest green movement here in our company. Over the years, thanks to the fine example that Interface Floor has given to the community here, and for them on a global scale, but they've set the example for us, and we want to set the example for the community as well. But they showed us how you can go green, you can go more efficient, and it helps increase the profit of the corporation. And so this is just the very latest investment. We've invested roughly about $100,000 with our Alliance Auto Gas and conversion process. But before that, we also invested about $50,000 in going mobile with all of our service vans. And what that does is not only help us be more productive, it also provides a better service to our homeowner, so that when we get to your house, the service tech has every bit of information that our office has on your system. We know the last service call. We know who did the last service call. We have the ability for you to pay on credit card and get a receipt. So we're trying to go paperless as well. We've then invested another $30,000 with our sales force. When one of our sales individuals comes to your house, he has the ability to take pictures, put everything in the computer, print it off right there from his bag, and provide you with a one-stop visit, so that we're not having to travel the roads. We're not having to ask you to take time off of work 2 or 3 times just to come back with paper copies. So it's a major investment that we've made, but we've made it in a way to go green. We've made it in an effort to better serve you, the community, and we've also made it so that we can make a little bit more profit, which we actually do need to do. So with the last thing, one thing we wanted to focus on with our partnership with Alliance Auto Gas and the community is that we've been able to partner with also Terry Stanford, because the more vehicles we get on the road, someone has to service those vehicles. Not only do you have to put fuel in them, but occasionally you need them to be fine-tuned and tweaked and stuff. And right now, there is no one in LaGrange that is certified to do that service work. So we hope, by us converting our 20 vehicles and maybe talking with organizations like the Sheriff Department and so forth, that Terry is involved in that as well, so that is a service back to the community, that now more people will have the ability to make this conversion. And so we hope to be setting an example here in Troup County and afar to how to go about doing that. And so I want to also take this opportunity to thank my dad. Unfortunately, is not here. He's in Honduras helping out a missionary friend of ours. But Glenn Jackson is here. He just got back from a month in Africa on a missionary trip. But both of those individuals, they are the reason why we're here today celebrating 40 years of business. Ben Jackson and myself have kind of been handling the day-to-day operations for the last 6-7 years, but it's the foundation that they set that allow us to do that and to be a second-generation company. And we're proud of what they did, because even back in the 80s and the 90s, they were the first ones to have radios in the trucks. They were the first ones to do a lot of things. And I'm excited to say that here at Jackson Heating and Air, we've continued that tradition of setting an example for our industry, and hopefully now with our green movement, setting an example for a community. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thanks, Paige, for all the help, and Kurt and all the media. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dale. And I know that everyone here joins me in thanking both generations of the Jackson family for being such wonderful corporate citizens in our community, and now to be leading in terms of innovation, keeping it American, and even more importantly, creating local partnerships right here in Troup County, because that's what we all live and breathe by and believe very strongly. We do want to also thank Blossman Gas, who's provided some hot dogs for your enjoyment as well. And I know that y'all have some wonderful refreshments. There's some great giveaways that Jackson has, an easy way for you to find the number when you need to call them for any of your service needs. And we would like to ask the family and our partners, as well as many of you, to come right across to the propane gas tank. It's a first for the chamber. We haven't cut a ribbon on a tank before, but we would like to do that to symbolize a new product right here in Troup County. We're going to do it quickly to get you out of the rain, and then please feel free to come back and talk to everyone. Derek, one more thing?
One more thing.
Sure.
Just while we have everybody here, I wanted to take this opportunity. Does anyone have any questions? Just right now, because one person might be thinking the same thing. I just like to answer anything. Do you have any questions about the propane auto gas program at all? Yes, ma'am.
Approximately how much does it cost to convert just one vehicle?
It depends on the vehicle platform, but it would be roughly between $5,900 to $6,400. So if you're looking at a Crown Vic police sedan application, between $5,900 and $6,000. When you get up to the 6.8 liter V10 heavy duty applications on that side, it's more of a $6,400 purchase.
Councilman Woodson?
Yes, sir.
Can you swap back and forth? So if I go here, I travel 100 miles, and all of a sudden I need propane gas, there's none, can I swap it back over on gas and do that?
Yes, sir, it is. It's a bi-fuel system. So basically what we've done is just integrated a fuel system on top of the existing fuel system. So in the event of the vehicle running out of propane, whether it's outside of its infrastructure range that we've set up here or any of the Blossman locations, if it runs out of propane, it automatically switches back to gasoline. And it's got a reminder in there, beeps at you, letting you know you're out of propane. You push the button to acknowledge, and then it runs on gasoline. The reason why we have 30 or more in just the Georgia and Carolina law enforcement alone, they had zero, they couldn't be down at all. They had zero tolerance for that, so they needed their vehicles to be running at all times. So we went after that market in the beginning to prove credibility, because if law enforcement can run on propane, anybody can run on propane, so yeah.
Because I know you're with propane, from a selfish standpoint, can you swap over to natural gas and buy it from the city?
Natural gas and propane are more like cousins. Great fuel. As we talk about with all the other alternative fuels, there's no silver bullet. Where CNG has an application, electric has an application, propane autogas has an application. Where the most of the success and the application for propane is on light and medium duty vehicles. If you travel north to that little city of Atlanta, you'll see some of the MARTA buses running on compressed natural gas, where they have that room above to storage all of those 3,600 PSI tanks to be able to power that engine. It's a very low cost fuel, and actually where we're doing a lot of the fracking and shale findings of autogas is natural gas. So wherever we're finding natural gas, we're finding the butanes, all the different anes within there. And also with the system, the great thing and why the Jackson chose to go with us in this system is, let's say a 2008 Chevy Express van is going out of cycle, either going to resell it or its useful life is over. We can take that system and that tank off and put it on their next Chevy Express van. Or if they decided to go to a Ford application or whatever, it's a V8 to a V8, V6 to V6, V10 to V10, so it's manufacturer friendly. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Cost price compared to gasoline per gallon?
How much are you paying right now? It might be a personal question, I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's right now the way it works is we get a price every day from Blossman Gas, and on top of that there's a federal tax credit right now of 50 cents per gallon. So the last couple of weeks we've been averaging like $1.38 to $1.42, right in that range. So that's what we're paying right now.
Hey, Ben, with those costs, what's your ROI look like?
It basically depends on the mileage driven, of course. Our best that we're seeing, our best ROI is going to be about 11 months, out to a worst of about 20 months. So, you know, not bad at all.
What kind of miles per gallon do you get on the propane?
Miles per gallon.
Miles per gallon. Now, Derek will tell you one number and I'll tell you another. So which one do you want?
We want your number.
Derek's going to tell you 10%, and we're seeing, we're seeing about 15% on some, 16%. We've actually seen some. Our Chevrolet Express vans that we've got, I think about 11 of them have been converted. They're actually around the 10% mark, which is what he initially told us. But somewhere, you know, it's 10 to 15%. Less, yes. The propane is not as efficient as gasoline, but of course the cost is much better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
If you think of more questions, please feel free to stop either the Jacksons or Derek. At this point, though, our press conference side and announcement is concluded. We would like to take those of you that are willing to get a few raindrops right across, and we'll do a quick ribbon cutting. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the refreshments.
Thank you.